is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are St. Louis.
2-2 is a fair ball. Welcome to the big leagues. Pete Kozma. RBI double in his major league debut. How about that?
Last night, it was a total team effort. Included in there was the first major league hit for Pete Kozma. This afternoon, that's a live look outside of Busch Stadium. Umbrellas are out, the ponchos as well. And it's raining here in downtown St. Louis, and the tarp is on the field. It's the Astros and the Cardinals as we wrap up the four-game homestand. And with my partner, Al Brabowski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. And yesterday, as I mentioned, Al, it was a total team effort because of the potential of injury, and that was Matt Holliday, Lance Berkman, but we understand that probably things are going to be okay.
Yeah, I think if all things considered, it's pretty good news for the Cardinals. Now, Holliday probably could have played today, but because of the wet turf, because of the conditions of an early start, he's going to be not starting in this game, but he is available, and hopefully as early as tomorrow he'll be back in the lineup. A little more serious for Berkman, but no fracture, nothing on his wrist. There is a mild sprain there, and they're treating it day to day.
Well, when you lose an Adam Wainwright, you're concerned, obviously, with what may happen with the starting pitching staff. But even with him not in that this year, this pitching staff has been great since day one, and it's been great on this homestand.
Really on this homestand, if you look at Jake Westbrook, he outpitched Lee. Jaime Garcia just continues to be dominant. One run, it was unearned. And Kyle Loesch, for 3 straight nights, the starters only allow 1 run. Kyle Loesch has really been a pleasant surprise. He's picked up the slack along with today's starter, Kyle McClellan. But you look at these pitches, everything down in the zone, utilizing all of his pitches. When they hit the ball so many times, it's just a ground ball.
And the Cardinals right now find themselves only a half game out in the Central Division. And you think about this team right now, Al, Albert Pujols hasn't been quite like we've seen him before. You know that will change at some point. You're missing a Wainwright. Carpenter at times has been great, at times not so great, but only 1 win on the year. The back end of the bullpen, you're not sure exactly where that may come from, but yet this team has come together this year, and it finds a way to win.
And 9 blown saves by the bullpen, a lot of errors by the ball club, but they play as a unit, they play as a team. Everybody that's on this roster has an important role, and last night was a great example. Just about everyone got in there, and they all contributed.
It's been a lot of fun to watch so far. Good team here in St. Louis, led by Tony La Russa. New dad is on the hill, Kyle McClellan. We'll take a look at that when we come back.
Dave Duncan has seen the seamless transition of Kyle McClellan going from a stalwart bullpen guy now to the starting rotation. And McClellan has a record of 5-1. Al, he'll get the start this afternoon against Houston.
The new daddy's looking to become the National League's first 6-game winner. His fourth win this year was against the Houston Astros. He got plenty of run support because statistically it was his worst start of the year. He's coming off a defeat at Cincinnati, but he really has pitched extremely well this year.
HOU. We'll take a look at the lefty of the Astros who will get the start for them coming up. Cloudy, hopefully not so much a rainy day here in downtown St. Louis. Baseball coming up. Big slugger out. Central guy that they picked up in the trade for Roy Oswalt. They say he has a plus fastball when he's right. Lately, the curveball has been sharp. We'll see what happens here this afternoon. The Cardinals will face that lefty, HOU. McClellan, Happ. Cardinal baseball coming up, and so is Jay Randolph. A look back at one of the great right-handed hitters is next. St. Louis. It's Houston and the Cardinals in game number 2. There are certain things that ball players at this level have to have. One of those is outstanding vision. Jay Randolph takes a look at one of the all-time greats.
Every single Cardinal game this season will be broadcast in high definition. And chances are Cardinal fans are watching these HD broadcasts on big screen televisions. If you don't watch the games, you could read about them online and get plenty of game recaps and previews in the newspaper. If Rogers Hornsby was trying to follow the Cardinals today, he would have a really hard time. Regarded by many as the greatest right-handed hitter ever, Hornsby took special care of his eyes. He refused to read the newspaper or watch movies, afraid he would ruin what he called an almost perfect batter's eye. He might very well have been perfect. Hornsby rarely swung at bad pitches. He hit over 400 3 times, winning 7 batting titles, 2 Triple Crowns. Only Ty Cobb has a higher career batting average than Hornsby's .358. The American poet Ogden Nash summed up Rogers Hornsby in a 1949 poem published in Sport magazine. H is for Hornsby. When pitching to Raj, the pitcher would pitch, then the pitcher would dodge. Makes you wonder just how beautiful it would have been for us to watch Hornsby in high definition, even if the Raja wouldn't look.
Jay, great stuff. Rogers Hornsby, whose lifetime batting average of .358, the highest of any right-handed batter, and second only to Ty Cobb's .366. Hall of Famer back in 1942. Baseball is next. Is brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinking Bush Light. By Chevy, see your Mid-America Chevy dealers. By Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 in quality tires and expert auto service. And by Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. It's a Helitech rain delay as the tarp is on the field, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. It's Cardinals baseball at some point here in St. Louis at Busch Stadium. in St. Louis. So we will step aside after this brief timeout. It's Cardinals Classics. At some point, we will have baseball today. broadcast this afternoon is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. Welcome in, and thank you very, very much for what you do and allowing us to enjoy America's pastime. He's on the hot seat today. That's Jerry Davis, the crew chief, and if we play baseball or have a stoppage, it's in his hands.
And really, officially now, once the lineup cards are exchanged, it's in the hands of the umpire crew. And we do have a small window, Dan, but when the next wave of rain comes in, it'll stop on Wednesday.
That didn't sound good.
No, it doesn't.
Well, let's take a look at the lineup here for Houston, presented by Southwest Airlines. Michael Bourne, Clint Barmas, and Hunter Pence, followed by Carlos Lee, Brett Wallace, Chris Johnson, Bill Hall, Humberto Quintero, and the pitcher, Jay Happ. And Kyle McClellan gets the start for St. Louis, and what a start to his season. 5-1, looking for win number 6 here today.
He lost his last time out, but he might have been distracted for a pretty good reason. Remember, he was in Cincinnati, drove home after that for the birth of his first child. That came on Sunday. He and his wife, Bridget, welcome in a baby girl. So he might have been a little distracted. But he's back home here in his hometown pitching. And as you said, he's done a great job. Still continues to get left-handed batters out. They're hitting 183. The right-handed hitters 311.
And here is Michael Bourne, slaps it to third, knocked off his glove and still made the play. Descalso playing in. That's why they call it the hot corner.
Good reason why. Descalso can verify it. Playing in, a little slap line drive right at him. And really, when he went to go, it looked like when he went to take it out, the glove came off. Drops it, but he recovers, picks it up, and throws out to Speedy Bourne with plenty of time. The line right hit him in the heel.
So good start for McClellan, the line out that was dropped, and then staying with it, Descalso, and here's Clint Barmas.
Should say the heel of the glove.
And there's a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. You wonder if Todd Titchener will widen and lengthen his strike zone, knowing about the pending forecast for this afternoon.
You could understand why an umpire would do it, and all he has to do is notify both teams. Be aggressive.
Fly ball into center field. Good to see Colby Rasmus back out there. 2 outs. Defense behind McClellan today. Craig, Rasmus, and Jay in the outfield. Descalso, Terrio, Green, and Pujols along the infield. And our battery this afternoon is McClellan and Gerald Laird. Tony La Russa, despite all the injuries, you don't have Matt Holliday, no Lance Berkman, no Adam Wainwright this year. But yet, never an excuse. He says we still have to win, and they've done that this year.
No excuses at all. Talking with some of the broadcasters of Houston, they thought the Cardinals might bang this game. You know, let it be a rain out because of the injuries. But the Cardinals say it's on the schedule. The fans have shown up. And really, this is not a very good ball club Houston puts out there, so take advantage of it.
Today, a 55-minute rain delay, and currently 63 degrees here in St. Louis. I don't know if you can say we've had a spring. It is just rain, 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 and chilly temperatures. The 0-2 pitch to Hunter Pence. Off of McClellan to the second baseman. Handled there by Green, and they get him. 8 pitches, all strikes, no score. No score as we move to the bottom of the first here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Rain-soaked field. Let's hope we get this ball game in. Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Terrio, Jay, and Pujols, followed by Craig, Rasmus, and Laird, Green, Descalso, and McClellan. Jay Happ, the lefty out of Spring Valley, Illinois.
It's really been a mixed bag for Jay Happ when facing the Cardinals. He's had his best game in a young career, a shutout last season against the Cardinals, and he had his worst game of his young career against the Cardinals.
First name is spelled J-A, but pronounced Jay Happ. You see his numbers. Last 3 outings against St. Louis. Originally selected by the Phillies, you might recall, 3rd round of 2004. Then acquired by Houston along with an outfielder and a shortstop in exchange for Roy Oswalt in cash. Ryan Terrio, the leadoff man, 2 balls, 1 strike. Average over 300 at 304. No homers, and he's driven in 14. Lines it towards short. Clint Barnes to his left, wide throw. The toe on the bag of Brett Wallace. Let's get a look at the defense here for Houston here this afternoon. Presented by Dobbs. Carlos Lee, Michael Bourne, and Pence in the outfield. Johnson, Farmas, Hall, and Wallace along the infield. And the battery is Happ and Quintero. The stretch here for Brett Wallace.
Jerry Davis said he kept his toe on the bag.
John Jay, a fly ball out to left, and Lee makes the catch.
Cardinals
2 away, and it brings in Pujols.
Have played shaky defense this season, but the Astros lead the league in errors.
Brad Mills, 2nd year. Houston. I thought, Al, last year you could have made a case that he was your manager of the year in the National League.
No doubt about it. Got off to a very slow start, and then they made a charge, and really they were 10-5 against the Cardinals a year ago.
Pujols with a .269 average, but not hitting home runs. Keys to the game since April 23rd. Look at that. No home runs. Longest career homerless drought he's ever had.
And look at the extra base hits are way down.
Grounded towards third. Backing up. Chris Johnson makes the play, and the Cardinals go 1-2-3. 1 inning in the books. 8 pitches for Happ. And there's no score. This week, Fox Saturday Baseball back in primetime. Interleague play gets into full swing. Cubs, Red Sox from Fenway Park. And this week's telecast of Fox Saturday Baseball in primetime begins at 6 Central.
many years we've been doing interleague play? 15 or so?
Yep, I think since '97.
You do the math, close. But this is the first time the Cubs have gone to Fenway and since the early 1900s.
This would be the first time for the Cardinals to Baltimore. Diving stop, Terrio with time. Nice play. The pick by Pujols on the other end. And with Carlos Lee running, Terrio makes a good play. Jim Leyland came out the other day very critical of interleague play. Back-to-back road series against the National League, and he thinks it's unfair that his team would have to play National League style baseball back-to-back series on the road.
Well, that was my point too, where another reason why I don't think it works. I think obviously this would be a great interest.
Wallace, a ground ball to second. 2 outs.
You know, the Cubs and Boston fans are going to enjoy seeing that, but it only happens once every 14 years. And in the case, remember, we went 3 consecutive years to Detroit. You know, and I firmly believe that if you're going to do it, reverse the rules. If you're in American League City, play National League style baseball. Give them an idea what real baseball's about. And if you're in a National League City, play the DH and let everybody see how inferior it is.
McClellan pumping strikes right now. He's had 1 ball in this game.
He wants to get through 5 innings, make this a regulation game.
The 0-1 pitch, make it 0-2. Dave Duncan has helped with that transition. The bullpen to the starting rotation for McClellan. And Kyle will tell you, wasn't all that difficult because every spring he comes in with the potential of being the 5th starter, so he's been used to that.
Well, this is the first year he actually, you know, headed to spring training on his drive there, you know, not thinking he was going to be competing for the rotation spot.
Strikeout of Johnson, the first of the afternoon for Kyle McClellan. You'll get a great view of the game. All your food and drinks included. It's all for one price. All-inclusive tickets at Cardinals.com. We head out on the road, but there is a game here that fans can take part in. May 26th. Mark it down on your calendars. It's a Thursday night minor league game here at Busch Stadium. Quad Cities, single A affiliate of the Cardinals, take on Kane County, the Cougars, a single A affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. And all tickets are only $10, so chance to see these guys up close, and all concessions are half price, and that's Thursday, May 26th. It's an off day for the Cardinals between San Diego and Colorado. 2 balls and 1 strike here on Alan Craig. We understand that Carlos Martinez, the fireballer, will pitch that night. He is scheduled to start. And Al, we talked about it last night. That's another one of those finds of Jeff Luhnow. Let's give him some credit here in the scouting staff and John Vooch, farm director. A lot of the young players are seeing action here in the big leagues, like in Alan Craig, who singles out to left.
I don't think there's any doubt, Dan, that the minor league system is starting to stock more and more quality players, particularly power arms. And that ball just down and in. Alan Craig just rifles it out there. You like keeping him in his bat in the lineup. He's hit at every level in the minor leagues, but it appears he's best suited to be, playing every day or close to that.
Here's Colby Rasmus, looks at a strike. Tough assignment for Colby, who's missed some time, and then he gets a start against a lefty. That's on paper, but then you say, wait a minute, this year's different when he's facing lefties.
341 average for Colby facing left-handed pitchers.
0-2.
His rookie season, he batted 160 against lefties, but this year he has more hits than any other Cardinal against left-handed pitching. 341, holding his own.
Runner at first is Alan Craig. You feel the Cardinals or even the Astros might be aggressive in this game, knowing about the forecast, and you may have a 5-inning game today. Who knows?
No doubt about it. First thing, it's always an advantage to score first, so I think that's always your goal.
That's taken low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, we've seen a lot of times young pitchers worry so much about a guy at first base, they split that concentration and make a lot of mistakes going to the plate. Allen's most of the time been heading back to second or back to first like that.
Even with the rain in the forecast, good crowd here at Busch Stadium. We had over 35,000 here last night. A lot of fans been taking advantage of dynamic pricing. Runners at first and second. So a question now, would you bunt with Gerald Laird here?
I think you've got to take advantage of every scoring opportunity. The one problem that you think about is Gerald Laird is your 6th place hitter. Then Tyler Green, you start getting into low order. I think you have a lot of confidence in Descalso, but he's also a left-handed batter. So if you were to bunt here and get both men into scoring position, you still have to deal with 7 and 8 in the lineup. That's Happ's escape.
Laird pulls one foul. Michael Bourne at center field, and also Carlos Lee in left. Very deep for Laird, the backup catcher. And he really has added something to this team. You think about the time that he gives Yadier Molina to rest and recoup, which he has not had in previous years. And Molina has been the major's hottest hitter this week, 667 since Sunday. Best in baseball.
Yeah, Gerald Laird is making his 10th start. The ball club is 7-2 in his starts. So he has provided very good protection for Yadi. Remember we had the night game last night, the day game. Give him a little rest. Expect to play quite a bit on this road trip.
Al Molina's hitting .323 right now, which is 11th best in the National League. And you want to take it back a little bit further. Since April 14th, he's
It's cut off. 2-run double. Laird drives in a couple, and it's 2-0 Cardinals. 5th double for Gerald Laird. He now has 4 runs batted in.
Tony La Russa giving Yadier Molina the day off today. Molina has been red hot. But Laird steps in and provides a big hit. A little bit of a hanging breaking ball there from Jay. Laird really gets extended through it. Carlos, realizing early on he wasn't going to be able to track it down, breaks it down and puts himself in position to handle the carom. Good read by Rasmus. Not allowed him to come all the way around to score from first base.
Tyler Green has Laird on at second. Astros pinch in at the corners. But he's not bunting. There's strike one on Green. A .232 hitter with 1 homer, 6 runs batted in. Last night 0 for 1. He was also hit by a pitch and stole a base. Green came off the bench last night with the injuries. The Cardinals last night used 3 left fielders, 3 second basemen, and 2 right fielders. One ball, 1 strike. Tony La Russa really had to juggle after Holiday and Berkman left the game. Put in Mark Hamilton for 1 at bat, and then replaced him. A lot going on for Tony. That lineup card last night. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Berkman was going to get more tests today. Has discomfort in his right wrist after a diving catch in right field. MRI after the game was negative. That's strike 3. Tyler Green caught looking. 1 out for Jay Happ, his first strikeout.
It's a hitter's no-no there. Take a called 3rd strike with a man on second base and nobody out. Obviously looking for something soft or breaking ball and just could not get that bat started on that good fastball.
Daniel Descalso had a hit and a walk last night. .221 is his average. With a homer, he's driven in 14. Bounces, and it's ball 1 to the number 8 hitter. These 2 teams are playing each other 15 times this year. Last year, the Astros won the season series 10 games to 5, and they were 6-3 at Busch Stadium. Since 1994, when these 2 teams joined the National League Central, it's almost dead even. Cardinals have won 129, the Astros 125. Strike, and it's 1-1 with McClellan, the pitcher, on deck. Gray skies above. Ooh, he got him to go for a high heater, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Big part of Jay's arsenal. 4-seam fastball up in the zone, up out of the zone. A lot of swings and misses up there.
Fouled away, and it's still a 1-2 count to Descalso. David Freese was the 3rd baseman. The Cardinals were in Houston in late April. He's on the disabled list now. He's just had a very tough career so far. Major injuries sidelining him, so that opens up 3rd base for the others. Descalso's down on strikes. 2nd strikeout in a row for Happ.
Hey, baseball fans, Chevy is proud to support youth baseball leagues in your local community. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy youth baseball programs, then check out the website.
Here's McClellan, who's 4 for 18 on the year.
Said there was a small window.
Strike 1.
Get the feeling that Jay Happ understands the urgency of this. Could be a short game.
Inning started with a base hit by Craig.
Pitched quite a bit the last 3 years in relief. In 08, 68 appearances, 66 the next year, and then back to 68 again last year.
He was a starting pitcher early in his minor league career, and then sometime along the way down on the farm he made the transition to the bullpen. With the injury to Wainwright, the opportunity opened up, and he has seized it and performed quite well.
Foul back. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Not only are they missing Adam Wainwright, but they don't have Chris Carpenter at his best either. So important for this club that he has pitched the way he has pitched. Kyle Loesch having a real nice year, and Garcia's pitching like a Cy Young Award winner.
That's a good pitch. 3 strikeouts in a row after the Cardinals got 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave a man, and it's 2-0 St. Louis.
Rodriguez, he'll go against Reyes, and then Myers against Morrow, and then Rodriguez again, the other Rodriguez against Drabek. That's a move back. We thought he might be Saturday. Then the Astros back home against the Dodgers and Arizona before hitting the road to Chicago in that strange combo, San Diego, closing out the month. Continues to rain down here. Milo Hamilton, who is not only here because he's getting ready to go to the road trip, but he's up in the booth. Okay.
Run into some very good starting pitching.
Yeah, this looking this run recently reminiscent of the Astros for much of last year. A lot of easy innings, 3 up, 3 down, without making the opposing pitcher work very hard.
Hall has not played the last couple of games. Bounces this one. Descalzo, short hop play. 1 out. Hit 7 straight for McClellan.
Now look at the numbers will tell you why the Astros want to attack that first good pitch they see. When McClellan gets the jump on hitters after 0-1, they're hitting 207 against him. If he misses with that first one, after 1-0, opposing hitters are hitting 324 against him. So his MO is to attack early, try to get the jump on you and get you to swing at that breaking ball out of the zone. It's not just his MO, that's kind of pitching 101.
There it is, strike 1 to Quintero. Humberto had a couple of hits last night, of the Astros 6 in the game. McClellan, as a reliever, had a good ERA. Now moving into the rotation. This is his 8th start of the year. His career record, as you see the first pitch strikes, very good, 7 of 8. Career is 12-16, 3.24 ERA. Two balls and a strike to Q with Jay Happ on deck.
He says he takes the mindset as the starting pitcher the same way he did as a reliever, just 1 inning at a time. He doesn't start a game thinking, oh, I want to have a quality start, or I want to give my team 7 innings. He just wants to go out and throw a 0 in that first inning. And he takes that same approach on to the next inning, and so on and so on.
Now it's 2-2. Rasmus well over to right center for Quintero. That's the way most teams play him. Lots of room down the left field line. Bouncer goes to shortstop. Terrio has a 2-hopper. And that's 8 straight sent down by McClellan. 5 on ground balls. 6 on ground balls now.
Now he's got to deal with a guy who's hitting .462.
Career 111 hitter Jay Happ this season is hitting .462 on 6 for 13. It's been a transformation for Jay. That's strike 1. Driven in 3 runs. Gaudy numbers. It's 1-1 to Jay. Starting pitching against the Astros on this road trip. 25 innings. 3 earned runs allowed. 1-2. 2 walks, 18 strikeouts for the starting pitchers. Two for Jay. In the air, Descalzo over into foul ground, watching it drift out of play. You get a chance to see the Toronto Blue Jays at Rogers Center starting tomorrow night. That'll be 5:30 for Astros Live, and the pitching matchup. As we see this pitch outside, or did he swing? Yeah, we'll give that to you in a moment. As that's 9 straight. McClellan gets his second strikeout. He is perfect through 3 with a 2-0 Cardinal lead.
We have asked fans to submit questions to us at Facebook.com/Fox Sports Midwest and Twitter.com/@FS Midwest. And here is the first question. What is harder to replace, a closer or an ace starter? From Not in My Car.
My interpretation is the closer, because he has a chance to do his job and win you a ball game every single day.
The thing is, too, Al, as we get a look at Ryan Theriot, Tony La Russa will tell you, when you build a team, ideally you build it from the closer, then your starting rotation.
And yet his pitching coach goes the other way and believes it's the starter. But I mean, it's.
Don't you think it depends on the team? Take, for example, this Cardinals team. They lose Wainwright. You can argue whether he's ace or ace 1A.
He is ace.
But they were deep enough where
That's why I'm saying.
They could pick that up. Now they're hurting with the closers, the spot. But I think on another team where the starting rotation isn't as deep, you miss having that ace.
Well, you can still, if you score enough runs, you can get around that. But my point is, even an ace is only going to take the mound 34 times a year, where that closer has the impact of losing or winning every single day.
When did you see, Al, that the closer really started to change in baseball, and you were at the forefront of that in many ways, but at what time, what year did you really see it? Mid-70s, I guess?
Yes, in mid-70s, and if you talk right now, you cannot win a world championship without having a dominant closer, and you better have at least 2 setup men also.
Of all the great closers, who's the guy with the nastiest stuff you ever saw? You saw personally.
Here's a ground ball to the right side. Billy Hall with it.
I'm going to think about it. Go to your second question.
Second question. Here we go. Do Jimmy the Cat and Al give each other trouble off air too?
Ask the police. The answer is yes. They got called to a couple of staff meetings when Al and I got into it. No.
They always bring a police officer up here for Jim's protection.
Thank goodness.
No, we really do like each other.
You do?
Yeah, but I'd never admit that on television.
Al, you just did.
You just did.
You just did. You knew what you were
messed
doing.
up again.
You knew what you were doing.
People ask me about you, and I say, believe it or not, he's one of the nicest men you'll ever meet.
Oh, come on.
That's a lie.
That's the truth.
That's a lie.
But Al and Jim usually have a production meeting roughly around, I'd say, 6:15 for a 7:15 first pitch. And those conversations, I'll tell you what, it just makes just gives you goosebumps to see the love between you guys. It's really nice to see.
Hey, we're going to be in the studio all next week.
Well, that'll be great television.
It'll be different.
The 2-1 is hit out of play, 2-2. Do you treat him well on the postgame shows?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We have a good time, Dan. I know you miss Al, but you'll have Ricky.
There's a broken bat hit to short. Barmas, nice play, long throw, and got him. On May 31st, we'll have a segment right before our first pitch, and send us your questions, because it'll be Rick and Jim debating some of the questions that are sent in, and we do appreciate the questions that we get. May 31st, so plenty of time to think about it. Now, you've had plenty of time to think about the nastiest closer.
Well, you know, it's interesting because you could make a strong case, a very simple case, that maybe Rivera is the greatest closer of all time, but you wouldn't say anybody's intimidated by going up there. You know, here in St. Louis.
By his mystique and by his
it's a cutter. It's a cutter.
Yeah.
You know, it's usually going away from a right-handed batter. You know what he throws. You know, Bruce Sutter had a split finger pitch that really was so slow that the bottom just fell out of it. But probably a guy that I think we all like, it would be Goose Gossett.
That's who I was thinking about.
You know, the Goose had the real intimidation of a overpowering fastball, big, burly.
Had the look.
You know, had the look, and just, you know, little cycle, and really nice guy, but he threw so hard and had good pitches. But you know, he would be the kind of guy that you think of a classic closer.
Walk to Albert Pujols, and you're bringing up some of these names. I'm thinking, why is Lee Smith, who spent some time here in St. Louis, not in the Hall of Fame?
Well, you know, it's going to help that now Gossett is in there.
Sutter, too.
And Sutter. But, you know, Lee Smith, at the time of his retirement, had the most saves, you know, in baseball. But it's also, he was the first one that really came in, pitched in the 9th inning only. And part of it was the reason, you know, he told me one day, he goes, I really don't like to come in with men on base. I said, no kidding. You know, nobody out and 3 guys on base. It's a little more tough. It's a little tougher. I'd like to start an inning. Well, no kidding. But also part of that started because he was so slow to the plate. If he had men on base, they would run wild against him.
There's a strike to Alan Craig, 0-1.
But Lee, you know, kind of had set that image. And we've seen today's baseball, when a guy comes in the 9th inning, many times the game is won or lost before he gets there. But because it's a save situation, he gets the nod.
Craig, a fly ball into shallow right. Long way to go for Hunter Pence. Can't make the play.
I think what also hurts Lee a little bit, if he was so dominant, why did he bounce around to so many teams?
You know, speaking of closers, Jim, I know you had a chance to visit with Ryan Franklin. He has not pitched since over the weekend. It's been 5 days. What did he have to tell you?
He said he's been looking at his stuff on video, trying to figure out what's been going wrong, and he thinks he's found something. He understands that his location hasn't been what it should be, and he also thinks he's made some mistakes with pitch selection. He says all he needs is a couple of scoreless appearances to get himself right back on track. And I'll tell you what, there's some folks in the Cardinal organization that believe they're going to need him in the second half, and they believe that he'll find it again.
Well, he's absolutely right. That is, a lot of it's been, you know, poor defense behind him. A lot of it's been, you know, because the balls have been hit so hard. He really has made a lot of mistakes with location. And he's also absolutely right that all he does mentally needs a couple scoreless appearances. But when you're pitching once every 6 days, it was what, close to 10 days.
It was.
The time before that.
That's right.
You're not going to be able to go out there and execute location. But it's, we've been playing in so many tight games, it's hard to bring him in.
2-2 pitch to Alan Craig. Tied him up. Foul tip and a strikeout. Held on to by Quintero. We head to the 4th. Jim, we'll see you on the postgame. This is Michael Bourne. He'll lead it off. And the leadoff man for Houston, along with Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin, our Fox Sports Midwest crew here in St. Louis. And Kyle McClellan, Al, has been very, very sharp here early on.
Well, no doubt about it. 9 up, 9 down. This is not a big, explosive offense, so you can pitch around Pence. Be careful with Carlos Lee. A real key is to keep Bourne off base.
Bourne, broken bat, liner to short for the first out. Six Flags Day at Busch Stadium. We come back Memorial Day, May 30th. Cardinals and the reigning world champion San Francisco Giants. And fans 48 inches and under receive a free ticket to Six Flags. For Cardinals tickets, visit us online at cardinals.com.
Hey, Jim Hayes could get a free ticket.
Jim will be here. He and Tyler headed to Six Flags.
No, he can get one too.
48 inches and under.
48 inches and under.
Now, Al, you're not the tallest human being I've ever met either now. I got to stick up for Jim if he's not here.
I could eat off the top of your head.
Here's Clint Barmas. Barmas rips it down the left field line. That's a fair ball in the first base hit. He's digging for two. Throwing to second base, not in time.
I remember, Dan, I just think I'm 6'8".
I understand. Barmas, the one-out double. I know a lot of fans have heard about the dynamic deals that we've talked about as you get a look at the first base hit for Houston. Pitch that was up and over the plate. Played very well by Craig. But that Monday afternoon, $9 terrace level seats. Barmas hustling all the way.
Hunter Pence leads their ball club in home runs and RBIs.
And grounds it through the hole in left. They'll hold up the runner. Runners at first and third with one out. Base hit for Hunter Pence. Back-to-back hits.
You know, Dan, we've seen so many times where Dave Clark over at third base, off balance, pulls it through. Pence has always been a good hitter in May, but so many times Dave Clark will not send this runner, not ever challenging any of the outfield arms. And right now you double play ball and you keep them off the scoreboard.
Here is Carlos Lee. One out, runners at first and third. Lee, a fly ball into center. Colby will make the catch for out number two. Runner tags up. That's Barmas. Houston on the board. It's 2-1. RBI number 23 for Carlos Lee. Basset Hound, Bulldogs, Beagles, a boxer, Saturday, June 25th. Pick up a rope chew toy for your furry friend. Compliments of Nestle Purina. They're available to 25,000 pet lovers ages 16 and older. Get yours by purchasing tickets at Cardinals.com. Here's Wallace, who is grounded out to second. He's 0 for 1. Mentioned last night how Wallace has moved away from the plate, a little deeper in the box, trying to lay off some of the inside pitches to allow his arms to get extended.
Well, it'd be really simple or interesting to see. You know, he took an 0 for last night, but the first series he just destroyed Cardinal pitching in Houston. Do they pitch him further away and get him to where he can't reach that pitch?
Like that.
So a game of adjustments. A lot of times, you know, you watch where a guy does station in the batter's box. Is it someplace different? You know, like trying to make it a little correction, but he is leading their team in hitting.
That back foot is nearly out of the batter's box, but the chalk lines, you wouldn't be able to tell.
That's a line no umpire really pays attention to, do they?
No.
And Albert is just, you know, he's even probably more extreme than that.
It looks like that back foot is out, doesn't it?
Yep. Looks like he's putting his toe on the line, or where the line was. Looks like the heel is completely out of the batter's box. See, and then it moves even further back. A little bit of an open stance.
1-1, now 1-2.
See that pitch there, you wonder if he's a little bit fooled by it, you know, being further away from the plate. Does he think that ball's outside? And it clearly is in the strike zone. Looked like an extremely hittable pitch.
Another check on the runner. Hunter Pence over at first, and a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on Brett Wallace. Curveball stayed away. Good block by Laird. Slipping, trying to get back up, recover. Still a very, very light drizzle here at the ballpark. Two-two pitch, spoiled by Wallace. Have to wonder what's going through his mind. The guy that was a two-time Triple Crown winner in college, Arizona State, and then shuffled all over the place early in his professional career. But that takes a shot to your ego a little bit, your confidence.
It really shouldn't, because you're always going to a team that wants you more than the team you're with. He signed with the Cardinals, but he was a third baseman back in those days. He was part of the Holiday trade with the Cardinals in Oakland.
The 2-2. Got him on the inside corner. Strikeout of Brett Wallace. You can visit your local Lowe's to cast your MLB All-Star ballot and enter or win a trip to the All-Star game. Compliments of Scott's. Labor's Local 110. Denny Fuchs, president here at the ballpark. Retirement Club, 240 members in the Coca-Cola Plaza as Colby shoots one foul. Average at 303. And first time up, walked and scored. Rasmus, Laird, and Green. Look ahead to Kansas City. Long road trip coming up for the Redbirds. We'll be in Kansas City over the weekend. Then off to San Diego. Thursday will be an off day. And then we'll have the Colorado Rockies. Chris Carpenter and Jeff Francis tomorrow. Speaking of the Rockies, Francis, the former outstanding pitcher with Colorado, the lefty, is 0-5 with a 4.83 ERA.
Out of our
Carpenter, yep. Carpenter is 1-3.
It'd be interesting to see Francis pitch, because we saw him when he really was a very talented young left-hander.
On the cover of Sports Illustrated at one point. Colby, right center. That ball is off the base of the wall, digging for two. Leadoff double for Rasmus. His outstanding start against left-handed pitching continues. Colby Rasmus safe at second. Safe and secure. New York Life.
15 for 42 over against lefties.
And it brings in Laird, who doubled his first time up.
It's 15 hits for Kobe. The next closest against left-handed pitching is Terrio with 13.
Royals got off to that red-hot start, Al, and since that time they're now under 500 at 20 and 22.
They've lost 5 in a row. But they still have an extremely talented young farm system and young ball club. They just brought another one of their big prospects up to start last night. But they could be a scary club for the Cardinals. It's their World Series when they face the Redbirds in interleague play.
1 ball, 1 strike on Laird. You're the GM. You're the guy that makes the decision that a youngster gets called up. That's a fine line that he walks, because there's so many factors that go into that. Number one, you don't want to stunt his growth, most importantly. But number two, you start his clock, major league service, all those things that go into play.
I'm not getting into the financial terms, like you say, starting the clock, making eligible for arbitration and free agency. You always hold your fingers that if you bring a guy up, if he can get off, whether he's a batter and you know, he hits 400, 500, or get off to a good start like Cosma did yesterday, and you know, then you can build a little foundation when you start struggling. But if you bring up a young player and he just struggles out of the get-go, you know, you could destroy him. So it's always very careful that, you know, when to bring him up, and hopefully mentally he can handle the pressures up here. It's the same game, just a bigger stadium. You know, a lot of people say it's another tier of stands.
2-2 here on Gerald Laird. The Cardinals aren't rushing prospects through as quickly as they did handful of years ago. Their philosophy now is, hey, let's make sure that when we do make that jump with that kid, that he's just about proving everything he can to get to that next level.
Part of the reason why, Dan, is because you're getting more and more prospects. So you don't have, you know, and you got a lot of young guys up here, so you're not replacing older guys.
And Laird strikes out. And that's strikeout number 5 for Jay Happ. Carsoup.com/Cardinals to send us your email the booth questions. We'll answer one later in our ball game here this afternoon. Here's Green, who is struck out after a shaky start for Jay Happ. He's starting to settle in too.
5 strikeouts. His career high is 10.
1 out and a runner at second. That catches the corner. We may see this weekend Talent, the lefty, activated and added to the roster. We'll have to wait and see.
I was talking with Brian today, and scheduled to make another rehab assignment, and it was scheduled for tomorrow. His first one went very well. 2 perfect innings, striking out the first 5 batters he faced. But because of all the left-handed batters, there is some thought that possibly, you know, you might activate him for this weekend. But with the injuries to Berkman and Holiday, you know, can you afford to go to a 13-man pitching staff, or who deserves to be taken out of that bullpen? They believe Franklin is going to help this ball club, so unless we have a mysterious de-ailment.
Strikeout of Green. The risk that you run at any point in time in doing that is that you're short position players, and the Cardinals right now are dealing with injuries to Holiday and also Berkman and Wright. Let's hope those two are back in the lineup tomorrow night. By the way, all 3 games are on Fox Sports Midwest this weekend. Your home of Cardinals baseball, as Quintero will have a visit here.
Just a little reminder here that Descalzo is the 8th place hitter. You got McClellan on deck. You have first base open. Your mental approach is, hey, be careful, don't groove one. You know, if you walk him, it's not the best thing, but more importantly, give him your best stuff, get him out, and then you've got the pitcher leading off the next inning.
Fouled back, and by Descalso's reaction, that looked to be a pitch that he could drive.
Off-speed pitch, looked like it was up a little bit over the plate. And if you are patient, every pitcher will give you a pitch to hit, but it's still so difficult, you know, to hit it where someone's not, or to put good wood on that pitch.
Fastball that's taken low and in. Didn't miss by much. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now falling behind, 2 balls and 1 strike. Will he give him anything to hit? Gap in right center field. Up and away, 3-1. Happ, one of the youngsters for the Phillies, traded away. Doug Drabek's son, their top prospect, was dealt. That was in the Roy Halladay deal. An intentional walk of Descalso, and it brings in McClellan.
To me, you have to believe if you're a left-handed pitcher facing a left-hand 8th place hitter that you can dominate him. You know, why pitch around him or ultimately fall behind 3-1 and then you have to intentionally pass it to bring up the pitcher? That's when you really got to bear down and be very aggressive. Don't be passive and try and pitch around him.
Strike zone has shrunk here in the last 2 hitters. One ball, 1 strike. McClellan struck out looking his first time. 2-1.
I'm trying to remember, but didn't Kyle help him his own cause in that game in Houston where he gave up 5 runs in 5+ innings, but he still won that game, and I think he contributed a couple RBIs in that game.
81 the pitch count. 2-2 is our count.
6 strikeouts, 3 walks. They're throwing a lot of pitches.
McClellan has thrown 43 on the other side. Foul ball.
So probably when it's all said and done, Kyle will have 1/2 the pitches of Happ. You know, there's some concern about Kyle. His career high in innings, Dan, is 128, and that was back in 04. But he's 27. He's not like a high school or college player.
Rasmus left stranded at second. 2-1. at bats. Home run McDonald. No.
Mark Worrell, remember him?
That was in Washington.
Didn't he hit 2 home runs his first 2 plate appearances? That was like home run McDonald.
That was in Washington, and then Wainwright did his, I think, in San Francisco.
It was in San Francisco, and I believe he got his first win. There's our crew chief, and it's Jerry Davis, who formerly from St. Louis. He was just given an update on the weather by the grounds crew, and it's not looking good long term, so a very important inning. And the Cardinals having a 2-1 lead. If Kyle McClellan can finish this top half, it would be an official game.
And this is Johnson. Looks at a breaking ball taken low and away, and it has cooled off here in the last few minutes here at the ballpark.
The Pirates have defeated Reds. So right now the Cardinals are even with Cincinnati in the stands. A stare down. Oh, Adam got him. The 2 Georgia boys having fun.
Here's a 2-1 pitch to Johnson. My eyes go cross-eyed when I would try to do that with my brother growing up.
Yeah.
And I lost every time.
Well, he was a little bit bigger and older.
Yes.
But Adam was being asked by a reporter today about what he could do. He says, I feel great. So what can you do? And so I own every record with a 20-pound weight.
That's the rehab, huh?
Yeah.
Now, you brought up a really good point, talking about McClellan going to break for this 5th inning, as you get a look at the strikeout number 4 this afternoon and the second of Johnson. But the fact is, you know, McClellan has not pitched this much if he stays in the rotation, which we all anticipate he will for the entire year. To follow up that point, what about him hitting a dead arm stage too?
Well, the one thing that they believe, and Kyle, remember he had a couple significant elbow surgeries, Tommy John, then he had another big surgery. His career high in innings is 128 back in 04, and really his pitch after that, the most he has pitched was in 08, his rookie season here at the big league level, 75 2/3, and he hit a wall at that time. But the thought is now that he's 27. He's turned 28, you know, a couple of weeks ago. That he, you know, is not like a young player, you know, a young college or high school player. That he's grown into a man that can handle the workload. I'm sure he's going to have some kind of a wall, but not to the point where you really are overly concerned.
Strikeout number 5 gets Billy Hall, and it brings in Quintero. Only 52 pitches so far for McClellan, 4 2/3, and here's the big breaking ball.
Well, you see how that ball looks like it starts out over the head of Billy and then drops down below the knees. So big out pitch for him when he was pitching out of the bullpen.
Here's Quintero, little cutter in there for his strike.
I think at times early in the season he gave hitters too much credit and said, I can't throw my curveball, my signature out pitch as a starter because everyone will know that. But he's given a lot more credit, and you know, you're seeing the changeup he's going to incorporate, the cutter he's going to incorporate. The cutter's a big pitch for the lefties. But I think he's gotten a lot of trouble with that cutter. Right there was one that backs up on him, as right-handed batters have hit .311 against him. Lefties, because he's so good with that curveball, have hit .183.
2-1 the count with 2 outs.
What will help that innings pitch if you have these quick, efficient innings and don't throw many pitches. That takes the strain off the arm.
Here's a fly ball into center. Rasmus going back, looks up. One hops off the wall. And Quintero is in with a 2-out double. Brings in the pitcher, Happ.
Kobe really wasn't aggressive on that ball, but it looked like he knew that he couldn't catch it and that was content to get it over his head and play the carom. Landed about 3/4 of the way on the warning track. The 9th place, the pitcher up. Strikeout victim the first time, but he is 6 for 14 on the year with 3 RBIs. Like a pretty good pitch there, the cutter.
Mentioned that Pittsburgh defeats Cincinnati. McDonald picked up the win. He's 3-3. Cueto the loss, 2-1. Hanrahan was save number 12.
Another cutter there and a big mighty swing.
Sure was. He doesn't hold back, does he?
No, it came up empty. Well, he was an 052 hitter until this year, and he's gotten serious about his hitting.
1-1 pitch. 1-2. Happ has struck out 7, and McClellan is 1 strike away from number 6. Curveball misses just a little bit low. Cueto only gave the Reds 5 innings today. Smith, Arendado, Massett, Bray all pitched. Will they hold up?
They go to Cleveland now, I believe.
There's a liner into center, and the catch is made. Houston is stranded 2, and it's 2-1 midway through 5. Fox Sports Midwest invites all Mizzou fans to join us June 25th for Mizzou Day Busch Stadium. And you can buy discounted tickets at Cardinals.com/Mizzou Day, presented by the TV home of Mizzou in the Big 12 and your Cardinals, Fox Sports Midwest. It's official. This ball game 2-1 in favor of St. Louis.
Well, we just have to keep it a Cardinal lead. But if the rains were to come right now and they were of sufficient length and this game was over, the Cardinals would win because it's 4.5 with the home team leading. So on the board, happy birthday to Cheryl Lawless. I'm sure that's Tommy's wife. Tommy now is managing at AA in the Houston Astros system.
And an 0-1 pitch to Ryan Theriot. Right now there are 6 game winners. 3 6-game winners. So far they're all in the American League. As Theriot pops one foul, it's Cahill, Scherzer, and Jared Weaver. So today 3 National League starters looking for their 6th win. That includes McClellan. And he has the chance to be first because we're in a day game.
And the other 2 are tonight.
Jair Jurgens of Atlanta, Aaron Harang of San Diego. As Theriot hits a fly ball into center field. Let's turn to this date in baseball history. Terrio, by the way, is 0 for 3. And our this date in baseball history brought to you by Schnook. Stan the Man moves past Honus Wagner to become the National League's all-time hits leader back in 1962. Hope he's watching today.
Yeah, Stan, 3,630 hits, and then Pete Rose passed him.
We see his grandson Brian down here at the ballpark all the time. He works over at Stan the Man Inc. And he says that Grandpa's feeling good.
All right, 965 3000. You want a piece of history from the greatest Cardinal ever, Stan the Man. You know, in the wake of the passing of Harmon Killebrew, we always talk about what a nice guy Harmon is, but there's a whole bunch of nice guys on that list right there of Cardinal Hall of Famers.
One and two.
And Harmon Killebrew was quoted as saying the two nicest players he ever played against or with were Stan Musial and Al Kaline.
Here's Pujols. Grounded out to third. He's also walked.
God, get Albert ready. Just all you have to do is tell him, "Hey, Albert, we're going to Kansas City."
Yeah, good point.
Good point. You know, he just crushes Kansas City along with most other teams, but
out of Maple Woods Community College. One ball, one strike on Albert.
He has 40 career home runs against Houston. He has 98 Busch Stadium home runs.
Pops it up. Playable for Brett Wallace. He's got it. Pujols 0 for 2. Busch Stadium in St. Louis, along with Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin with you. And it's the top of the lineup: Bourne, Barmes, and Pence. First play of the game. It's a line shot off the bat of Bourne with Descalso playing in.
Well, look how far, you know, this guy has great speed. He utilizes that speed by hitting down on the ball. But Descalso really can't be comfortable playing so far in, even with a slap hitter. See where the third baseman playing in charged that line drive the first time.
Here's a ground ball to second. Green to his right. makes the play. Cardinals baseball this afternoon is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where right now you can get the new bourbon barbecue steak grilled sandwich at participating restaurants. And by Kia. Rain has stayed away for the most part here this afternoon. And Clint Barmas is set to dig in. Cardinals trying to make it 4 wins in a row. Let's be honest, Al, that was a rough way to end the road trip. The tough loss on Friday night against Cincinnati. Next 2 games, it just seemed to be all Reds. And yet, Tony La Russa's club, they play hard. Descalso makes the play, fires a bullet to Pujols. They've come back against a very good Phillies team, then their nemesis, Bud Norris, and now this ball game today.
Well, I think it's one of the things Tony's most proud of is that they can take tough losses and bounce back quickly. You know, it's such a long season. You got to stay on an even keel. You're going to have losing streaks. You're going to have winning streaks. Just make sure you minimize your losers and keep on pushing to create longer and longer winning streaks. But if you just play hard baseball for 9 innings.
Pence up the middle. Backhanded by Green. Throw to first. Safe.
And still a very nice play by Tyler Green. He's had his problems on this homestand defensively, but I was noticing on the ground ball of a Bourne how his concentration, just his fundamentals, and here he's so athletic. You know, he really is a very good athlete, so it's easy for him to go from the infield to the outfield. Really haven't seen the talent at the major league level that all of his teammates will tell you he's displayed at the minor league level. 2
outs and a runner at first. The ball scoots away from Laird, and Pence reads it perfectly. And that's a wild pitch.
Seen Gerald Laird block a lot of balls in the dirt. Doesn't come up with this one. And Pence, like you say, takes the secondary lead. He recognized the separation from the ball from Laird and took advantage of it and got into scoring position.
Off the end of the bat. Sometimes those spin and roll back fair, but that one stayed foul on the grass. So Lee, who has the RBI today for Houston, a chance to tie it up. He represents also the go-ahead run. Sac fly to center. Brought in Barmas, who had doubled. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-2. Outfield is straight away and deep. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The next from McClellan. Fly ball. This should do it. Get out of the jam. John Jay wants it. He's got it. 71 pitches through 6 innings for McClellan. And a 2-1 Cardinal lead. Brought to you by Budweiser. Carpenter and Francis tomorrow. And we'll be in Kansas City. Tailgaters will be out in full force. A lot of Cardinal fans make that trek across the state. And Carpenter will make his team-leading 10th start of the season tomorrow. Made 10 starts against the Royals in his career. He's 5-5. And at Kauffman Stadium, 7 starts with a record of 5-2. And there's a strike to Alan Craig, so Carp gets the call tomorrow night. Coming off a loss Sunday at Cincinnati. Up and in to Craig. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jay Happ, the lefty here for Houston, has struck out 8 so far.
Dan, both pitchers really very similar. You know, Houston has 4 hits off McClellan. Cardinals 3 off of Happ. Big differences in pitches. You know, Happ about at the end of his rope. He's at 95 pitches, and McClellan's 71. So probably the last inning of work for Happ, and Kyle can probably stay out there for an inning or 2.
This is one of those days that something's got to give. Winning percentage in day games, Houston is worst in the National League. The Cardinals, second worst.
Yeah, I saw that.
For whatever reason, creatures of habit, playing night games.
Happ actually is pitched very well during day games himself, and on the road he's knocked a full point off his ERA. More so, you know, higher at home.
Mentioned before, the Pirates beat the Reds 5-3, so the Cardinals have a chance to move into first place with a win here today. The 2-2. Taken outside. Colby Rasmus is on deck, and then we'll see Laird.
Not a lot of at bats for Alan Craig against lefties, but he's just a shade over 200. That's a good sign right there. Just Holiday holding the bat. Could have played today, and it was Dan when he went back and made that fielding play.
High fly ball, deep left field. Will it carry out of here? It's gone. Home run, Alan Craig. Second of the year.
That's why I was a little surprised that he has not done more damage against left-handed pitching.
We haven't seen that in a long time. Just a home run.
Right. Cardinals have hit very few home runs of late. It is their 39th of the season.
Nissan drive of the game, the home run by Craig.
I wonder if he predicted that. What if he told John Jay that he's going to hit a home run?
I'd like to see grown men act like kids like that.
That's what it is. It's a kid's game.
Oh, 2 the count. Our producer Mike Elling, right before that pitch, said, when's the last time the Cardinals have hit a home run? He willed it. Lopez, a right-handed pitcher, getting loose in the bullpen for Houston, and we were lucky enough to get Mike away from his computer because he's trying to buy up all the Mizzou Day tickets. Mike, a graduate of Kansas, but yet he has been converted to Mizzou, black and gold. One-two pitch, fouled back by Colby.
Veteran players that really play every single day. Both of them a little bit banged up on the bench, but they get a chance to tell war stories to each other. Now, Berkman has really been a big addition to the camaraderie, just the adding a lot of life and maybe not the urgency of every day is a life or death matter. Just got to make you guys understand that you got to have fun in this game. Usually fun comes when you win, but he has a great personality. Gerald Laird is fit in there, so is Terrio. Fierce competitors, but they also know that there's a way of kind of being loose a little bit too.
Big Cardinal fan and a huge fan of yours, Al. Mike Leach is watching the ball game today on the home of the Cardinals, Fox Sports Midwest. At a note here, it says that he never misses a game and never misses you whenever you're on the game. The 2-2. Full count on Colby. Nobody out. The next to him. Ripped to second. Picked by Billy Hall. Look what I found.
And he almost threw it away, but Billy Hall, who's never been really known for his gloves, only committed one error on the season. Remember, he started as shortstop, played center field, and bounced around.
Do you have a Cardinal baseball that don't miss discounted Cardinals tickets from Phillips 66 Gas when you fill up with 10 gallons or more? For complete details, stop by your local station or visit cardinals.com/Phillips66.
You really have to be disappointed in Billy with his home run production. They were hoping to get some of that 35 like he hit from Milwaukee one year. Billy Hall did hit the first home run at the new version of Busch 3 back in '06.
Mark Mulder made that start. The home opener that day. Laird, ground ball to Barmes. 2 outs.
Am I dreaming, Dan? I know Mulder made that start, but did he hit the first Cardinal home run?
I know he hit one, and I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking Pujols did, but it might have been Mulder. You're right. And it was Mulder, we're told.
And Billy did hit the first home run, period.
Alan Craig, speaking of home runs, with his second, RBI number 12.
Hit twice. So the umpire's saying, he's still in the batter's box, foul ball. Made contact, the ball bounced and came up and hit the bat again and went into fair territory. But Tyler did the right thing. Don't run. If you stand in the batter's box there, you sell the fact that you're in the batter's box and you hit it twice.
This has proven to be a very fair ballpark, which is what they wanted. Catch made in right by Hunter Pence. Alan Craig gives McClellan and the Cardinals a little cushion with his solo home run. Every Thursday on FoxSportsMidwest.com, we'll bring you the Farm Report. Brian Walton checks in on the prospects in the Cardinals farm system. All you have to do is head to FoxSportsMidwest.com and the Farm Report. Farm director is John Booch. He's been busy already this spring all over the place.
I know we're both very happy that he was promoted to that position. And
now 33 years he's been here.
Yeah. I mean, he started out some of the lowest positions and worked his way up.
Nice catch again by John Jay and right. The screamer off the bat. Now Brett Wallace, who's 0 for 3, and he's been quiet in this series.
John Jay, one of those valuable guys that, you know, he can spot start, play all over the outfield. He can come off the bench late and give you a solid at bat. He just knows how to play this game fundamentally. Very sound.
And now it's Chris Johnson with 1 out. Nobody on. McClellan. Oh, here's Descalso. Watch this arm. Bullet over to first. I asked Daniel yesterday, I said, do you ever 3-quarter it? Did you ever, if you had a hot shot, you knew it was a slow runner, that you not lobbed it over there, but took something off it? He said, absolutely not. He said, every time I get it, I'm trying to put a hole in somebody's chest.
Well, what you said, you know, yesterday, I think was the most important. He said he didn't have a particularly strong arm, but he started doing a lot of long toss. And I mentioned it last night. I'll do it again today. Young kids, that is the most important thing to do. Pitcher, outfielder, infielder, long toss. You can't do enough of it.
There's a fly ball out to left. And the catch is made by Alan Craig. Time to stretch. Redbirds on top. 5 pitches that inning. It's 3-1. Carsoup.com email the booth question from Vivian. Do you guys like when teams wear throwback uniforms? My answer would be yes, and I would hope, Al, that when the Cardinals head to Baltimore this year, maybe a little flavor of the St. Louis Browns and the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, that's a good idea. I think I do. I kind of like seeing the difference. Uniforms, and I'm not sure the players do because they aren't tailored as well as the ones they wear, you know, on an everyday basis. And they're a little sloppy, a little baggy, but they are more of a reflection of the way the uniforms were, too.
Right. Wilton Lopez sprinted in from the bullpen.
I got tired watching him.
He's out of breath already, but he's got a pitch. And throws a ball to Descalso. Jay Happ goes 6 innings, gives up 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer to Alan Craig, and strikes out 8.
Lopez usually has very good control, walks very few, and he's really become a very He's an outstanding pitcher when he enters with runners on base and stranding those hitters, or those runners, excuse me.
One thing I really like when we go to Kansas City, and we've seen this a couple of times, where they'll wear the throwback Negro League uniforms, and if anything, it promotes awareness, and hopefully young players and fans will go back and look at what those teams were all about, maybe some of the players that played there. Dropped by Hall, and Descalso is aboard because of an error.
The mind working a little quicker than the hands. Only his second error this season, but really an easy play. Billy Hall trying to get in position to throw him out before he really caught the ball. Just a Sunday hop, chest high, not a difficult play at all, but concentrate on catching the ball and then put yourself in position to throw it.
McClellan initially showing bunt, pulls back, now he's bunting again, gets it down. Lopez thought about going to second, gets the shore out, and the sacrifice is good. I would tell any fan this: if you're heading to Kansas City tonight or tomorrow, this weekend, Carpenter and Francis going tomorrow night, make sure you make a trip to the Negro Leagues Baseball Hall of Fame Museum. It is one of the neatest places you will see if you enjoy the game of baseball.
Don't take anything for granted. You know, go in there, execute your slide, stay on the bag without losing your balance, but don't be caught in between. A lot of times an infielder will deke you, trying to think there's not a play, and then you think you're going to stand up, last second you have to slide, and that's when you get hurt. So always anticipate sliding, and you'll never hurt yourself.
Now Terrio, RBI spot here. One out, runner at second. Lofts it to left. This will get down. Base hit. Descalso being waved in. He'll score easily. 4-1 St. Louis. Descalso, zero hesitation. He read that right off the bat. No chance for Lee. And Terrio drives in his 15th.
If you think about it, look where he's at second base. He can see the height of this ball. He knows there's no chance that it's going to be caught by the shortstop or the left fielder. Did you see the throw from Lee
to the shortstop?
To the shortstop. What, 20 feet away? Well, let's put it this way. He wasn't going to throw him out at home.
No.
And he wasn't going to. And by doing what he did, Terrio can only go to, stay at first base. But not an example of, a throwing arm.
John Jay 0 for 3 today. Fly to left, grounded to short, struck out. Tailing action on that pitch. No balls, 1 strike. So that sliding catch in right, John Jay also a very fine play in left center, playing center field last night.
Outstanding as he turned what was going to be a potential extra base RBI hit into a double play. And far into left center. He was playing center field, left center, over the shoulder catch, and immediately stopped and got the ball back into the infield for the double play. The runner was more than 2/3 the way to third and never got back to first. Rodriguez, another right-hander, warming up in the pen.
This year, this team, Al, this is the time that they tack on runs. They don't seem to be out of games, and when they're up, they seem to be even more aggressive and really attacking with their offense.
A year ago, many times the Cardinals would get the lead and then would sit on it. There's Fernando Rodriguez, but they would sit on it. Another trait to a winning ball clubs is getting leads, but then adding on and doing it in multiple innings. You almost have to score in 3 of the innings. When you start scoring more than 3, you almost guarantee wins.
Just joining us, Pujols is 0 for 2 with a walk. 1 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals picked up 2 in the second, 1 in the 6th, and 1 here in the 7th. Gerald Laird got it going with an RBI double off the wall and left to score 2. Home run by Craig in the 6th. RBI single by Terrio moments ago. On 3-2, Terrio is off of the pitch. Jay shoots it to the opposite way. Lee had to spin around but still makes the catch. He has not looked comfortable in left field in these 2 games.
Might be able to say that throughout his career, as he is known as a slugger, $100 million contract, and he says I get $99 million for swinging the bat.
99.9999.
That's more accurate. Well, in his home ballpark, it's a little easier for him to play left field. Not that it's an easy place because of the Crawford boxes being so close proximity. You get a lot of caroms off there, but you really, you learn to play the caroms. You're not having to run real deep. And with Bourne's great speed, he has everything, from left center over.
So 2 outs, runner at first, and here's Pujols.
Our young fans may forget, but Greg Lazinski, when he played left field for the Phillies, he would position himself facing the left field line.
Pujols off the end of the bat, a ground ball and a forced play at second. Albert 0 for 3. The Cardinals strand a runner, but they add to their lead. 4-1 St. Louis. Our Verizon game recap. Jay Happ 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, and McClellan still in this ball game pitching into the 8th. He's allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run. Alan Craig 2 for 3 with a home run back in the 6th inning. That's your game recap brought to you by Verizon.
And that's 4 straight starts that a Cardinal starter has only allowed 1 run.
Amazing, huh?
Well, you do that, you win, and that's why they've won every game on this brief 4-game homestand.
This is Quintero. That was only pitch number 72 from Kyle McClellan, according to the Busch Stadium pitch count. We have 77. McClellan, remember, it was a Sunday, which he had a chance to close out Milwaukee, and then in that 9th inning, Tony La Russa took him out. There's a base hit as Green was toward the bag at second base, and Quintero is aboard.
Bogasevic will pinch hit now. A little pitch down away, and just almost a totally defensive swing, and beats the defense with his second hit to the right side. Ogasevic has been a good pinch hitter for them.
Very good. This has been his spot. Their top pinch hitter. Runner at first, nobody out, and that one scoots through Laird.
Tony on the phone to the bullpen. Just overthrows the pitch, bounces so far out in front. Gerald Laird went out to block it with technique, but came up as the ball stayed down. Starting to rain a little bit harder now, maybe.
One ball, one strike. Runner at second, Quintero. Good pitch on the inside corner, and it's 1-2.
Ogasevic is 4 for 12 with a walk in the pinch this year. Right there. Good pitch down in, but that's where that left hand, he swings at that one.
Curveball hit to the right side. Pujols, nice backhanded play. Leads McClellan perfectly for the out.
Albert made that look awfully easy, and it's not that easy of a play. Ranges so far off the first base bag and takes the potential hit away, and then a perfect throw to McClellan covering.
Fredberg pulling it to your attention. StubHub. You'll find the seats you want, the freedom to choose where you'd like to sit. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. Here's Michael Bourne, and this will score a run. Gets away from Laird, and scoring easily. Quintero cuts the lead to 4-2. Bourne on the afternoon is 0 for 3.
There's 3 wild pitches in this game and 2 to put score this run. So it goes from first to second on a wild pitch and comes home on a wild pitch. 3 this game, 5 on the season for McClellan.
Our crowd today, 36,409. 36,409. It's tapped foul. We come home, we'll see San Francisco. Dynamic deal on that Monday, May 30th, the 3:15 first pitch. $9 terrace level seats. And also the bleachers for only $18. And the bleachers are not like your high school bleachers. There is a little back to it, so you can lean back and relax. Bourne slapped it the other way, and the catch made.
I have to believe that now that they've scored the second run, Kyle will probably reach his career high in innings, but probably will not start the ninth. Sanchez is throwing. Tony just signaled to Descalzo, just be aware of the bunt. There you see Sanchez.
1-0 pitch. Popped up to the left side. Terrio out there. So is Craig. He calls for it, and he's got it. Pitch count at 90 for McClellan. Midway through 8. By Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Bank of America, where ATM deposits are as easy as an infield fly. No deposit slip, no envelope. With Bank of America, member FDIC. And by AT&T. Rain has really picked up during the break. So hack away, gentlemen. It's 4-2 St. Louis midway through 8.
2-run lead, no delays. And Mid-America Chevy dealers call to the bullpen. Jeff Fulcino will come in here. His last 2 appearances, he's lost games, including receiving a loss on Tuesday after allowing a 2-run walk-off home run to Brian McCann. McCann had the off day that day, and you see that everyone congratulating Kyle McClellan. His afternoon is through after 8 solid innings. But McCann had the off day. He pinch hit in the 9th, hit a home run to spoil and take a win away from Wandy Rodriguez. And then in the 11th, he won it with a 2-run walk-off against Fulcino.
Fulcino claimed off of waivers from Kansas City back in 2008. The next year, he was the Astros Rookie of the Year.
So he's been here for what, 9, 10, and this year, and he's the senior member of their bullpen.
And when you think about when they made their run and against St. Louis mid-2000s, their bullpen was lights out. Qualls, Wheeler, Wagner, Dotel,
Miller, Trevor.
Yep. Springer, another one that was very good for them.
Very good. Billy Wagner at the end, but you know they had a lot of veteran guys, and now they've got a lot of kids.
Fulcino began his college career for the University of Connecticut in 1999. Selected by Florida in the 8th round of the 2001 draft. And that's taken low. 3-2 here on Alan Craig, who is homer today.
Average up to 276. He's always hit at every minor league level.
The 3-2. Shoots it foul. Fulcino out of Hollis, New Hampshire, and lives in Monroe, Connecticut.
Big man.
Just like that cold weather.
Yeah, 6'5", 284.
Oh.
It's a good thing he wasn't an inch taller.
Base hit for Alan Craig, and Fulcino is thankful. Just a solid single to center field and not off his body. Oh, goodness.
He didn't react to that until after it was past him. 6'5", 284, and somehow he got underneath it. But it got his attention.
Here is Colby Rasmus. Popped up left side and out of play. Rain is picked up again. Umbrellas have opened up. Some of the ponchos are out here at the ballpark. Headed to Kansas City, where Al once pitched. Former stomping grounds. They've done a terrific job with Kauffman Stadium. The renovations to that ballpark, it is gorgeous, and we'll have some good crowds this weekend, I'm sure.
It always was a beautiful ballpark, but their enhancements are special. And really not so much for the players or the playing field, but for the fans. They've made it a lot more fan friendly. Nice place to go visit, Cardinal fans.
Throw down to first, and Craig back in there safely. Rasmus today walked and scored the second, double back in the 4th, and grounded out to second.
Quintero trying to be a Molina impersonator. Got a couple pickoffs this year to lead the major leagues, and he led the National League last season in pickoffs.
1-2 pitch. The swing and a miss in on the hands of Rasmus for the first strikeout for Fulcino. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Along with the Matt Hungarian, Al Raboski, Jim Hayes, our Fox Sports Midwest crew, Dan McLaughlin with you. Here's Gerald Laird, who got it all started back in the second inning with a double off the wall and left that scored 2. One out, runner at first, and time is called, and Fulcino.
Well, he did the right thing.
Yeah, he did. He's trying to hold up, and then he's saying, all right, I got to finish my pitch. That's how you get hurt.
Yeah, Todd Titchener, you see, he grants it, but it's so late. So go ahead and throw it at the batter. I think it's more appropriate to throw it at the umpire. If you call it that late, you run the risk of hurting the pitcher if he doesn't execute the throw. And obviously you saw that he slowed up, but go ahead and throw the ball.
Runner goes, ground ball to short. Varmus gloves and makes the play.
Pretty good camera work right there.
Sure is.
Expo, and see the raindrops coming down and the freezing pitch up and in.
Now, we always say that that's an easy way to get hurt. I'm curious if you ever saw anybody get hurt like that, trying to stop, and once time was called and doesn't complete the throw, or maybe in between.
You know, I can't say I've seen anybody get hurt, but it's because you really wouldn't see it on that pitch. But it would take, you might hurt yourself in trying to stop, and then it would transpose later on.
Sure. Here's Green with 2 outs, 4-2, Cardinal lead. This is on the outside corner, 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0. Green shoots it foul. We've talked about Al, the right-hander, getting loose for the Redbirds in the bullpen.
Sanchez, who has electric stuff, it was warming up. Now it's Salas. He was really starting to take over as the Cardinal closer. So you really got to watch between the Salas and the Sanchez's.
Saw Sanchez scoreless inning last night. Green, a bouncer to second. Billy Hall is there, and we head to the 9th. The Cardinals today have stranded 6. Salas coming in when we come back. Coming up next, it's Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Jim Hayes will be inside the Cardinals clubhouse. Pat and Ricky will break down the game. It's all coming up on Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Fernando Salas comes in. Very good numbers. Did not make the club out of spring, even though he did have one of the better springs of any pitcher for the Redbirds, and it's carried over to the regular season.
Well, part of the reason why he didn't make it was because they considered him a one-inning pitcher. And at that time, they took Augustine, who they thought was more suited to be the long man. But Salas got off to a good start there when Augustine and Tala got hurt. We got Salas and Sanchez, and they have been lifesavers. 4 for 4 in save opportunities on this homestand. Salas has a save and a win.
Now we head to Kansas City tomorrow, interleague play. DH is in play. Makes you wonder about how Tony La Russa will use the DH. And if a guy like Talent is called up, what kind of move is made?
It would be very interesting. And in some ways, it would be very simple just to stay with the game plan to have Salas or Talent have another minor league appearance.
Pujols ranging very far to his right makes the play and led Salas perfectly for the out.
Get that first out, you're well on your way. See how far off the line he is. Guy goes to his right, throws back across his body. You want to lead that pitcher coming there. You want to get the ball high enough to where he's chest high, head high, and then it's real easy to see the ball. Get it to him quick enough to where he can catch the ball and then look down to find where the first base is.
Here's Carlos Lee. Now, what have you seen with Salas? Because it's not like he comes in and is throwing 98 miles an hour. What's made him effective?
Well, we saw 27 games last year from him, and he throws strikes with one, basically fastball slider. But, it's not a blow-away fastball. It's not, the greatest slider in the world, but he's a little bit fearless, and he throws strikes. Except when he's 0-2-0.
But for the most part, he throws strikes.
And fastball away. Right there.
Lee looks at a strike.
93, which is enough, but it's not 98. It's not as hard as other guys in that pin throw. But he's got a decent breaking ball, and he's got the good enough fastball that he can spot pretty well.
Liner out to left. It'll drop in for a base hit. The tying run will come to the plate. Lee is aboard, and it brings in Wallace. Our player of the game presented by Budweiser. Just asked to sit and watch again. Kyle McClellan, 8 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Both were earned. No walks and 5 strikeouts. Our Budweiser player of the game.
No walks, kept that pitch count down, and another extremely effective outing for Kyle McClellan, looking to be the National League's first 6-game winner.
Here is Wallace. Little bit low. Wallace grounded out to second. Called out on strikes when he argued with our home plate umpire Todd Titchener back in the 4th. And also lined out to right. Good play by John Jay on a diving catch. The 1-0 pitch.
Couldn't pull down on the off-speed pitch, but one of the factors to think about now, that outfield is getting real slick, and that ball can hit and really scoot, pick up speed, and got to be very careful that it doesn't get by you. Sinker.
A 2-0 pitch.
Could have been called either way. 3-0. Look at that last one. But some of the times, because the catcher's set up outside and you miss location, even though it's on the inside part of the plate, it's not where the catcher wanted it, you don't get the call.
On 3-0, Wallace was trying to tie it up.
Nobody takes on 3-0. You just ask a hitter to be disciplined enough to get a pitch to drive.
Last series, 8 hits and 12 at bats, 0 for 7 in the 2 games thus far. The 3-1. Make it 3-2.
I'm a little perplexed as to why they changed his stance. He was leading their team in hitting, and hitting well over 300 the other way, and now he's been nosediving since they've got him to change.
Average at 305, and with 2 strikes, Pujols plays behind Carlos Lee. Can the Cardinals get a double play to end it? A 3-2 pitch to Brett Wallace. Here it comes. Runner goes. Slap the other way and foul.
Brett Wallace has the second best average in Major League Baseball at home this year. 406. Leads the club in hitting. But on this road trip, coming in 1 for 12, so he's 1 for his last 15. Changeup.
The 3-2 pitch, runner not going, and a swing and a miss. A 3-2 changeup from Salas. Big pitch there.
You can throw something off speed in that count. A lot of guys are expecting a fastball, so they're going to be overly aggressive. And he sells it with good arm action and down.
On their feet here at Busch Stadium. 2 outs. Here's Chris Johnson. 36,409. Watching through the raindrops here at Busch. One and one. That is the difference, though, Al. Major leaguers, as opposed to guys that really struggle getting to that next level, being able to throw a pitch like that, an off-speed pitch at 3-2.
Yeah, an off-speed pitch when you're behind the count.
Sure.
Chris Johnson has a 5-game hitting streak on the line. 0 for 3 today. Only batting .207, but during his streak it was .438 coming in. Season high 5-game streak. Fastball away.
The 2-1 pitch. That got Laird. 2-2.
Right there, right off the right shoulder, right underneath that shoulder pad.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Same thing, fastball away.
He got him. Cardinals win all 4 games of this homestand. Sweep the Phillies. Now they sweep the Astros.
And they're back in first place. Half game over Cincinnati, who lost to Pittsburgh earlier today. And Kyle McClellan, the 6-game winner.
It's off to Kansas City, but still the postgame show coming up next.